What's going on, guys? Ryan Martello here, and today we have an awesome video for you guys. I had the opportunity to speak with the general manager over at Komodo, Ben FairBank, also known as Bitcoin Benny on YouTube. In this interview, we discuss everything revolving around Komodo, what they are, their current products, what we could be expecting in the near future, and really everything in between. This is a phenomenal video to watch if you want to get a good understanding of what Komodo is, or if you already know everything you need to know about Komodo. This is a great video to watch to get a good understanding of what we could be seeing in the coming months for Komodo. Now, unfortunately, Ben was based over in Asia for this video, so the video quality was not the best. So I went ahead and scrapped his video footage of his face, and we're just gonna have the basic audio overlay, but still I highly suggest you guys watch this whole video to get a good understanding of this sleeping giant. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next. We are currently here with Ben FairBank, the general manager at Komodo. How are you doing today, Ben?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me along.
Awesome. Now, could you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, your role at the company, what you're in
Sure.
charge of, as well as where like the main office is located?
Okay, so yes, good questions. I've got a pretty extensive corporate background and have had a number of CEO roles for multinationals and got involved in cryptocurrency trading a few years back, and as a result found the Komodo project, loved it, invested heavily in it, and also run a YouTube channel, so told my viewers about it.
Yes, I
And
did
they
see
said to me,
that. That's awesome. I was watching some of your videos. Very good. Awesome.
thank you very much. Yeah, so they said, look, why don't you get across and help Komodo out? And we got to talking, and I went across and yeah, look after all the general management side of things there now. We've obviously got some very good developers and good technical team. And now my job's to help with the business and to make sure that we're set up and running properly. Yeah, so it's been an interesting little journey. So yeah, that's my role.
I think it's pretty cool how, you're the general manager of, a phenomenal company, and you still do your, YouTube videos on the side for your audience. If you guys don't know, this is Bitcoin Benny. He has around 17K subscribers. I'll be sure to leave his link down below so you can go check him out. I think that's really
Thank
cool
you.
how you kind of have two lives in the crypto space.
Yeah, I do.
So
2%.
tell us, the basic elevator pitch of Komodo, the brief description of what you guys really are.
Yeah, for sure. So the thing that's really great about it is it's a fully decentralized project, and Komodo is a platform. So what it does is it allows people to be able to create their own asset chains and their own platforms based from the Komodo technology. Originally, it was a Zcash fork, and obviously it's built on Bitcoin protocol. It has privacy element, obviously. And I think that the good thing about it is you don't have to sort of be dependent on the original Komodo chain. So it is, you get your own blockchain and your own asset chain. So I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity for people to create a new project. But the anonymity side of things, the decentralized side of things, just makes it a really unique project in the space. And we also have a decentralized exchange, and the first to really pioneer atomic swaps. So not sure if you're familiar with atomic swaps, but we can now do cross-chain
That was actually
protocol
one of my
as well.
questions down the road, but
Okay,
definitely, yeah.
sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
So can you maybe explain to us the one-stop blockchain solutions, maybe like the steps behind it, the basic overview of the steps?
yeah. So what we've tried to do is we're trying to obviously get there to that point where we can make it so that people are able to sort of go on and self-serve. Obviously, that takes a little while to do. We've done our first DICO, decentralized ICO with Block Nation. That's underway at the moment. And we've got plenty more coming along as well. But essentially, we had set ourselves up to be able to, you would be able to come on board with some basic technical knowledge. You would be able to create your own asset chain, and then you would get all of the offerings that the Komodo platform offers. And as it's an open source project, anything that we do or add is entirely free of charge for any of those projects to go along and yeah. So That's how it's been. So obviously there's some technical requirements, and some of the projects that have approached us don't have those technical requirements. So we have had to be sort of involved. So we're evolving as we go, and we're trying to make it more simpler for the end user, with the ultimate aim to make it that anybody can get on and create their own blockchain with us. And think of us like an Uber or like an Uber as far as a technology provider is concerned. So what we do is we provide the technology open source, and it's up to the end user what they actually use that for and how they use it. But the obvious goal is to make it so that we're not having to intervene at every step of the way.
Yeah, I really like that about you guys, how you don't necessarily accept every single project that comes your way, kind of like how Ethereum kind of does. They just, let everyone do what they want. I definitely think that's, the way to do it nowadays in the crypto space, to really weave out the junk and overall give you guys a lot of credibility in the space. So tell us a little bit about the DIY crowdfunding, because I think that's pretty important.
Yeah, I think that crowdfunding's always been an issue for people, and the issue right now in the market is that it's very expensive to actually do the crowdfunding. So if you want to get yourself into a situation where you can do that, it can be quite difficult or quite timely or expensive. So what we're doing is developing products like the DApp, the DICO DApp, that allows people to essentially have their own wallet. It's a white label product, and they can go on and they can essentially set up a transaction. So say, for example, I create a Bitcoin Benny token, and then I want to accept Ethereum and Litecoin and whatever have you. I can actually create those pairings. I can run nodes, so my Alice and Bob nodes, and I can actually set up my own ICO funding, and I can allow people to contribute and buy those tokens direct, so in a decentralized fashion, which means they're not going onto an exchange to do that, or they're not going into a public. So it's the decentralized peer-to-peer format for purchase.
Now, if a company did need, say, your help, setting that up, would Komodo, go out there and help them, or is it completely do it yourself?
Well, we've made a point not to charge people up to this point in time. So what we've done is we want to get to a point where it's do it yourself. At the moment, we've had to. It's new technology. We've had to get involved with the projects that have come across. But we are actually introducing third parties, because obviously the ecosystem of a decentralized project would mean that we would essentially have a network of third-party providers, or people that are actually in our ecosystem or in our communities that say, I can do website design for you, or I can do white paper writing, or I can do source code audits. So we are heading towards a completely decentralized model where no one is dependent on anyone from our core team to get anything done. So that's the way we're going about it. But yes, at this stage, being 100% brutally honest, we have had to get involved due to the fact that it's new technology and we're learning as we go.
Yeah, of course. Now, when it comes to Block Nation, world's first premier decentralized application, or I'm sorry, decentralized ICO, you want to just give us a quick description of what Block Nation is so everyone knows?
Yeah, sure. So Block Nation was the leading cashless events management company in Southeast Asia. They're in 6 countries at the moment. And effectively, think of it like a wristband when you go to a concert. You can actually load it with cryptocurrency, which means that if you're going to a different country, or you're flowing into, say, a Grand Prix in Japan, for example, you could actually load up your wristband, and once you enter the Grand Prix, you could have your drinks and your food and your beverages and all of your charges billed to literally swiping a wristband. So it's pretty cool. The good thing about that is that you don't have to worry about leftover currency being translated back into the foreign currency. It goes straight into your wallet. And the good thing is they've just partnered with a few of the hostels and hotels in Vietnam and around Asia, and you can now pay in cryptocurrency to stay in these places. You can top up your Block Nation wallet, and then you'll be able to go in there and pay for your accommodation, your food, anything that's billed along the way. You can literally just swipe and scan, and you'll be able to purchase things. So
see, that's such a simple and genius idea at the same time. That's exactly the kind of things that we need, in the crypto space to get that adoption, is stuff like that, so we can start actually using them in the real world. That's awesome.
Absolutely, and you probably saw with Consensus recently, they had lines of thousands of people waiting to get into the. So one of their exciting things that they do is they have reached out to these blockchain events and said, hey, load all the information on a wristband, give it to people when they arrive, and you don't have to worry about getting your name ticked off on a piece of paper, which they're still doing. You can just walk through, swipe in, and your details are there, and you're registered and checked in. So it speeds things up. So they're going to do a few blockchain.
I thought that was pretty crazy how, you know, consensus. I was actually, I didn't attend the event, but I was in New York at the time. I saw the beautiful building and all that good stuff. But I thought it was crazy how they did not accept cryptocurrencies as a form of payment.
With the legislation in the States and all these changing laws, I think they probably had their hands tied to some extent, and I'm hoping by next year they'll be able to accept all of the cryptocurrencies. Let's hope so anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Now, can you tell us a little bit about BarterDex? Congratulations. Yep. That was released on May 3rd. Definitely a big accomplishment for you guys. And also HyperDex.
Yeah, sure.
Little differences between the two.
Yeah, so BarterDex is obviously the engine, and it's the exchange that's run on atomic swaps. And if you've had a look at BarterDex, it's a little daunting at first for brand new traders, but once you get in there and you have a play around, you sort of get used to it. But getting used to this cross-chain and not having to be stuck on a Bitcoin pair or Ethereum pair is kind of refreshing and nice. And you own your keys, so it's completely decentralized. So the HyperDex is the first iteration of front ends that are more trader friendly and sort of take out a little bit of that background noise on what's actually happening. So think of it as BarterDex is that it shows you the nuts and the bolts and how it all works, and it shows you exactly what's happening. Yeah. And what we're doing is we're getting closer and closer to the mum and pop friendly sort of version of point here, click here. And you don't need to know what's going on and see every single little function, but still having the transparency of seeing your trades and all the rest of it. So the major difference is, as I say, BarterDex is more sort of the engine room. But yeah, look, it's done well over 100,000 atomic swaps now, and that's something that we've been able to be a little bit of a market leader with. And it is pretty impressive technology to be able to know that you can keep eventually keep your coins in a wallet, and you'll be able to swap within that wallet using BarterDex. It's a really, really exciting prospect for people, especially if you have to have 14 passwords and you have to remember all the different exchanges that you're registered on. So this sort of does away with all of that.
Yeah, I just got into decentralized exchanges, you know, before. I mean, I still use like Binance and stuff, but I just started using Bancor, and I've really realized how simple it is to just link your MetaMask wallet and it's done. You don't have to worry about storing anything on their exchange or anything like that. So I think a lot of people are going to start getting on board with decentralized exchanges, and I do like how you guys are bringing out HyperDex. I think that's going to be phenomenal. I'm guessing it's going to kind of look similar to like Coinbase, how it's just like a simple layout, very user friendly. So I think that'll be massive. That'll definitely get adoption.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you happen to know how many trading pairs are on BarterDex?
We've got over 100 different tokens on offer now, tokens or coins. Wow. So effectively what happens is if anybody wants to be a liquidity provider or a market maker, they can actually set up Bob and Alice nodes, and they can fund the Bob nodes, and what they can do is they can set any pair to any pair. So say, for example, you were Litecoin and you wanted to do 20 different pairings, you can do that. It's quite easy to set up and run as a liquidity provider.
Dang, that's really cool. Can you tell us a little bit about this is the one part I feel like a lot of either enthusiasts of Komodo or even investors don't really fully know, the benefits and utilization of the KMD token.
Yeah, sure. So that's sort of an evolving work in progress, and that will sort of come to light and fruition more once the HyperDexes of our ecosystem sort of get up and running a little bit more efficiently. There's plenty of utility options for the token, and it can be used in a number of different ways. And if you have a look at what Binance have done with the BNB token, for example, and given people discounts on trading, there's lots of different things that we have the potential and ability to be able to do. At the moment, what a lot of people are doing is using it for the 5% reward if you actually put it in the Agama wallet, the Komodo wallet. you can actually get a reward of more than 5% a year return on your token. So yeah, so that's what a lot of people are interested in at the moment. But as I say, that the ecosystem for the utility of the token will actually increase as we start to introduce things like Hyperdex and other products to our suite.
So the 5%, that's kind of like an airdrop.
No, how it works is basically you keep the token in your wallet, and you're effectively being rewarded part of the block rewards for helping us to maintain our network and helping to make sure that we've got that functionality.
Gotcha. So
Yep.
it's kind of similar to like a gas.
It's kind of like it's kind of, well, not really a gas, but it's sort of a shared part of the block reward for keeping your tokens in our wallet and actually storing them in the Agama wallet.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Now, the one thing that stood out greatly to me about your guys' company, and I think a lot of people appreciate, is your guys' team is phenomenal. I mean, you're ranked #1 for most GitHub commits at 6,222, followed by EOS at 4,912. What do you think what do you think differs from your team compared to not necessarily other competitors, but other cryptocurrency companies in general?
Really easy to answer. I think, as you know, with every new technology movement, you've got a lot of people that stand on rooftops and tell you all of the wonderful things they're going to do, and then they have to try and deliver those things. Whereas what we've done is we often get criticised for not marketing the products that we have well enough and for flying under the radar a little bit. But we know that this is all new technology, and what we're doing, you can't sort of Google answers on how to do this. What we're trying to do is provide problems and solutions to problems, and make the blockchain technology more accessible for the everyday user. So the thing is, the difference is we're actually sort of getting our heads down and bums up and making sure that we've got those commits, we're actually solved, and we're actually trying to make a difference, and not necessarily, as I say, out on the streets and banging drums and saying, look at us, look at us. We'd rather just sort of get it up and operational, and I think that's the difference. We spend more time doing rather than talking.
Yeah, I've over the past couple months, I've definitely tend to notice those are going to be the projects that succeed, that are actually working. Not necessarily promoting, but just getting it done. You have your roadmap. You're saying you're doing this, and you get it done, and those are definitely the projects that are going to succeed. So I already gave you that one, actually. Can you tell us a little bit about the roadmap? What maybe some big achievements you just accomplished, as well as what we could see for the rest of 2018 and maybe a little bit into 2019?
Yeah, look, I think that a lot of the things that we actually have marked out, we've sort of delivered on, or at least we've got alpha versions of those things out. So the wallet was obviously one of the things that we brought out. We also had the DEX. We've got to make sure that we get this HyperDex, and there probably will be further iterations of that to make sure that that's more user friendly. I think the structure of the atomic swaps and what we've been able to achieve there, I think they're the main core things. And what we're now trying to do is make sure that we get the education and the adoption, and we get the usage, and we help people to understand what the advantages are. We help to eradicate some of those limitations, and I think the thing that's been good with us is we try and involve the community. So if we do roll out something as per our roadmap, what we do is we say, come in and make sure that you guys as a community test it, see what you think. We want your input. The value of community testing is cannot be understated. So what's ahead is more the 2.0 version. So we've done our 1.5, so we've got a 2.0, so we'll have a slicker version with better front end use cases for the end users, and we'll make sure that we are really sort of getting a bit slicker and putting that bit of finesse on what the end user sees, rather than just the back
I like it.
part.
I like it.
Yeah, but ultimately, a lot of what we set out to achieve and a lot of what we set to build has been built. It's now a matter of how it all ties together and the integration of the full ecosystem. And then, as I say, moving towards that fully decentralized model where you're not reliant upon individuals within the organization or the project to help you accomplish something, that you can do it yourself. And that's our goal.
Now, I mean, you kind of just answered my next question for you. for me. What is Komodo's end goal in the blockchain? What's your full vision for the company?
I think everybody would have a different visualization of what that looks like, but ours has always been to basically get blockchain technology into the everyday user's hands and to make it more accessible, and very much in line with Satoshi's original vision of making sure that we are a project that is everybody's project and that everybody has access to, and that it remains open source, and that it remains a project that people can sort of hop onto GitHub and get the latest iterations and the latest versions, and just really strengthening our network and making sure that more and more people have access to scalable solutions that don't have the sort of problems that a lot of the other networks might have.
Yeah, I really do think that, I mean, I talk with a lot of companies, but only a handful really stand out to me in the sense that they're really trying to make the space and the overall world a better place, and those are
Yeah.
definitely going to be the companies that, go places. And Komodo is hands down a sleeping giant. I mean, you guys, your community is growing phenomenally. Over 80,000 Twitter followers. That's incredible. I really think I see incredible things for you guys' company. So I appreciate you coming on here, speaking to all of us, not just me, but to thousands of people, giving us a good understanding of the project and what we can expect in the near future and all that good jazz.
Yeah, look, thanks for having us on, and thanks for having an opportunity to explain. But like I say, we'll endeavour to make sure that we make the front end, the user side of things a little bit slicker, and just to make sure that our technology is integrated into the everyday user's life a little bit more simply. So thanks for letting us have the chance to explain that.
Yeah, no problem, guys. If you are interested, I will leave Bitcoin Benny's YouTube channel linked down below. Go check him out. He has some quality content, not just on Komodo. He talks about everything, which I think is really cool. He's not just, biased on his company. So thank you, Ben, for coming out, and
Thank you very much.
thank you guys for watching. If you're not subscribed, of course, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in the next.